Good morning and welcome to Corona Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. You know, when I say that, the center of the world, that is very simple. The center is the simple, the one. The center is the one, and that's simple. The one is ultimate simplicity. And the title of this talk is The Utter Simplicity of Corona. Now let's meditate on this. And by meditate, I mean let's explore it. Let's pull this cotton ball apart and find the simplicity in it. You know, all of nature basically has the intention for simplicity. Nature, the complex in society, in your life, when things get too complex, it becomes dysfunctional and breaks apart, and a simple solution is found. This is all the time in your kitchen, in your house, in your shop. When you're driving, when things get complex, they get dysfunctional, and you discover a simple way of doing it, an easy way. You discover the one, the simple. You discover the utter simplicity of life. Monastic tradition, Buddha and his monks made their life very simple. All you have is a bowl and a shawl. Very simple. And you just go out. These were the monks of the Buddhas. And they had to go out and once a day and beg for food. And if they didn't get any, they didn't eat. It's very simple. People go to the woods and live in a cabin. They simplify. We go camping to simplify. We're always simplifying. Just notice this. This drive to simplicity is a drive to unity, is the imperative of let there be one. Even in religion, in the Old Testament, O hear, O Israel, the Lord God is one. One God, very simple. Not many, not paganism, not multiple gods. One God, very simple. The drive to simplicity. The Civil War was a drive to simplicity. The South wanted to split. The North wanted simplicity. One America. South wanted two. Had a war. The one won. But that process is still going on. Complexity. When a company gets too complex and the people are all duplicating their orders, their work and everything, and it becomes dysfunctional. So they hire somebody to come in and do an analysis of the work and eliminates jobs. Simplify. Thoreau in the woods. Simplify. Everywhere, simplify. And we can see this going on in our country, in America, particularly with our health cares. So we've kind of like created a system where everybody gets a choice. Choices multiply. And it gets too complicated. It gets dysfunctional. People fall through the cracks. Can't afford it. Only a few get it. Many don't. Too complex. Simplify. So the drive is to have a single payer. Simplify. In everything, simplify. The one. Find the one. The one that includes the many. The hub, the axis, the one. Hurt Locker was about this, one of my favorite movies, even though it defeated Avatar for the best picture. But Hurt Locker was about a bomb deconstructor in Iraq who when you're deconstructing a bomb, it's very simple. You're either alive or dead. Very simple, alive or dead. There's no proliferation of choices. Very simple. That's why the classic metaphorical moment of it, when he came back on leave and he was with his family and he had to go to the superstore, the market, and he had to get some cereal, and there was a canyon of choices. and he couldn't choose, so he just grabbed anyone and threw it in the basket and walked out. So when we get too many choices, we can't choose. You see. So the idea of corona, the utter simplicity of corona, is that it is simplifying American life, in the sense that corona doesn't, it's kind of like the hurt locker. You're either got it or you don't. In other words, you can get it, or it's very simple. You either get it or you don't. And if you get it, you can die. Maybe not, maybe yes. But it's very simple. And it is democratic, in the sense that anybody can get it. So it can't be politicized. It can't be class. Class is poor people get it and rich people don't. No, it can't. It's not age discrimination. Anybody can get, any age can get it. Nationality, doesn't care about nationality. Any nationality can get it. So corona is very simple. You see, anyone can get it. So it simplifies things. So it's simplifying. While we're watching this real time, we're watching America get its complexity is becoming very simple. Stay at home. That's very simple. That's a simple thing. Stay at home. So without getting, I just want you to get my overall sense of this is that corona comes to streamline, simplify, make America more functional. So this is a process we're going through. So when we come out of this, we're going to be a little more functional. The healthcare system is going to be more functional. Everything is going to be, because corona requires function. Dysfunction creates corona. Dysfunction, complexity, creates death, you see, in this particular situation. So death is very simple. Death is utter simplicity. There's nothing more simple than death, you see. Life is complex. Choices, I got this and that. I can go here and there. But death is one. Death is simplicity. So death is kind of like the axis, the simplicity that makes life simple when death comes. When death comes, the threat of death, things get very functional. Your life gets very simple. If you get cancer, suddenly all the triviality and the illusions and the adventures and all that get thrown out. Life gets very simple and very valuable, you see. You simplify. So death simplifies. Death makes you functional because it eliminates waste. It eliminates dysfunction, you see. So death comes to simplify, and with simplicity you have value. If you have some kind of computer or a machine or something that's very complex, this is why basically Apple, Steve Jobs sold Apple, because he made it simple. The PC, the Windows machine, was complex. Apple made it simple. So Apple became more valuable. Simplicity is more valuable than complexity, because simplicity removes the pain, the dysfunction, the confusion, the anxiety of complexity. It gets the job done. It has value, you see. So there's always this drive to value, to simplicity, to the one, you see. And Corona seems to be doing that. So even the conflict now between Trump, who says, I'm the one, yet he doesn't take charge as the one. Ironic that way. Trump says, I'm the one. He got elected on that. I'll make life simple. I'm the one. No other beside me. No second beside me. I'm the one that has no second. So if you criticize me, you're going to be eliminated because you're making it complex. I'm simply the one in what I say, you see, is simply the truth. That's the mythology behind the president as being absolute, the absolute one. But now we have these states, and each state is a one. And each state is taking charge of their corona, because the president did not act as the one. You see, so he deferred to the states. And now they're becoming the one. So now you've got many ones. And you've got the conflict now, that's called a constitutional crisis, between the one and the many ones. You see, which is the one? There can only be one, you see, to simplify. Anyway, that's an interesting little progress, a little thing going on currently, you see. But on the larger picture, we're looking at a force of nature. Corona would be a force of nature. And coronavirus is very simple. A virus is very simple. It's not a complex organism. And because it's so simple, it's dangerous. You see, that when complexity meets simplicity, simplicity wins. Just look at the Vietnam War. The Viet Cong, the North Vietnamese, were a very simple army. We had a very complex army. Simplicity won. Anyway, you can digress on this a lot, but we're just meditating on the idea that corona simplifies the complexity of our system that has gotten so complex that it's become dysfunctional. European nations have simplified. They're more functional than their health system is simple. You see, ours is complex. And the reason we get so caught up in complexity here is because we believe fundamentally that more choices is freedom. The more choices you have, the more freedom you have. Now that's an assumption. That's not necessarily true. Because you can check that out in your kitchen. The drive in the kitchen, I know our kitchen is like that. My wife likes tools. So whenever there's any new little operation, somebody will invent a tool for it. So you might have 5 different tools to cut up your vegetables, you see. And then somebody will come along with one tool that will do all of it. Oh, I got to get that, you see. So this proliferation of tools and choices creates the need for a simple tool that does all of it, or you can get away with it. This is at work in all of the parts of our house, in our life. This complex evolves to the simple, and then eventually the simple will become more complex as more people come in to make it better. So you have a simple tool, and then people will start. Well, maybe if you add this, you see, it'll be better. And oh no, it can be better. You need a choice. So we'll add this, and now you can choose between these two. And then you'll add another. Now we got 3 choices. Now we got 10 choices. And pretty soon you got the hurt locker. Could you watch that sneeze coming? So this, we can see this operating all the time. Simplicity, complex, simplicity. Simplicity to complex to simplicity. So it's kind of like the evolution. And so corona, in this wider scale, you see, is coming to bring simplicity and to make our systems, our nation, our society more functional and more democratic. So that everyone gets, and this has been the whole campaign of the 2020, of the Democratic platform, is to be more inclusive. Sanders, more social justice means inclusiveness. You see, so all of this has been to more inclusive. More inclusive is simple. Simplifying so that everyone gets a share. You see, this whole movement. Now corona comes and just puts it on steroids. Because now a lot of the ideals, the promises, the needs, and the of the democratic and the liberalism, you see, is now a necessity in the Corona society, particularly in healthcare. So let's meditate on simplicity in your life today. And Buddhism, that's what Buddhism is. It's all about simplicity. Simplify. The mind is very complex, full of thinking, yada, 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 yada. Simplify. Just this. Just be this moment. Just this. That's very simple. Zen is one taste. Just this. It's very simple. Simplicity. The moment is simple. This moment is utterly simple. It's the mind that makes it complex. Oh, it should be this. It should be that. Why didn't this happen? Oh, no, this can't be happening. That's very complex. Just this is very simple. Simplify. Just this. Thanks for dropping in. See you tomorrow.